Oh my goodness, you guys. I kind of hope that you guys can hear me. And I'm going to see if I can. Oh, there we go. Let me see if I can pull up the chat. Okay. Live chat. Live chat? Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm so sorry. All of a sudden my internet's down. Seriously. Oh wait, look. Does this mean now it's not? I can't tell. Welcome. I'm sorry. I hope you guys find your way to this thing. Hey, Sharon from Texas. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm glad that you guys found me. I'm tried to put some links into the places, and my internet was down like 5 minutes before we went live. So I'm gonna get a drink of water. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Please type something in the chat saying that you can hear me. I know we had some problems with the sound last time, and I'm recording from my phone, which is not ideal. Sometimes it gets a little pixelated. I'd much rather the quality from my cam. So anyway, I'm gonna do a little essential oils right here. Okay, and calm down because I hate Spectrum. I really do. Just popped up notifications and here I am. Good. I'm so glad. Yay, and you can hear me. Thank you. Okay, I'm calming down. Don't you just hate technology stuff when it doesn't go the way it's supposed to? I know I do. All right. So, and thank you for letting me know if you can hear me or not. And because that was an issue last time. All right, so today I'm going to talk about, give you some updates on some of my weaving stuff. What oil did I use? I used Stress Away. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. Stress Away. And I also, another one that's really good is lavender, but I don't even think I have the lavender here. I just have like Stress Away. Okay. So yes, so I'm gonna give you an update on some of the weaving stuff that I've been working on, and yeah, pass it over is right. I'm gonna pass it around. I wish this was smell-o-vision for you guys, cause yeah, that stuff is good. It smells like vanilla and lime and something else. Anyway, I love it, and it helps calm me down. See, I still have some on my hands, so that way I'm not talking a mile a minute, and maybe you can understand me. Okay, so like I said, we're talking, I'm getting distracted. Okay, we're talking looms. I'm going to give you an update on some of the weaving stuff I was working on, and I wanted to share with you the round loom that I had made. Okay, so I know in the other videos I'd showed you this loom, but look, I finished the piece. I did it in a day. Can you see it? Anyway, so yes, this piece, this is a ceramic loom that I made, and it's just, you know, this big hole cut out here, and I punched an odd number of holes. Not even, it seems like it should be even, but really it needs to be odd. And then when I strung it up, you can see how I did. It's all going, so the warp strings are on the front, except for this one here, and I'm probably doing this wrong somehow. But anyway, so I did this round weaving, and I believe that this would be very similar to how you would do that big hula hoop loom, or some people do stuff like on embroidery hoops. Anyway, but this, I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. And I tell you, I learned a lot doing this piece. Now this piece, and I chipped some of it off while I was like 30 minutes ago, but I don't know if you can see. Right there, there's this little area here, and I chipped this this off of that area, because it something in the kiln had popped off during the firing from somebody else's piece and landed on mine and got stuck. So it's not as bad as it was, because I knocked the big chunk off, and I could probably knock more of this off, or I can probably get the Dremel and maybe try and sand some of that off. But otherwise, what I intended to do was hang like a long weaving down from here. And, but I don't know if I want to, because I really kind of like this piece. I think if I hung something down, it would take away from this. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do here. I might maybe turn it this way and hang it across a stick. That would be cool. I could even turn it this way and do some kind of stitchy thing here, or even do a stitchy thing here with a little bit of dangle, and I think that might be the direction I go in. Now, I've neglected to put any kind of hanging holes here, so I'm going to have to rig something up through these holes up here. So, and I also started doing just some regular square tiles, and if you follow me on Instagram, you can see pictures of that in progress. I'm going to try and do a similar thing with this kind of round weaving inside some square tiles and put them together to make it like a woven rendition of a granny square Afghan. Anyway, so this was lots of fun. Okay, some of the things I learned when I was working on this. I tend to go with something that's not as wild. I mean, you could go wild, but for some reason I kept sticking to something, you know, kind of low key, and kept with a color scheme that kind of matched in here with just a little bit of pop with this red and this sari silk here. And that's just it. And I tried not to do a lot of everything in the round. I tried to make it, you know, do a little offset stuff. I mean, there's some windows in here, and there's a bit of felted dreads that I cut up and put in there, and then since it was an uneven circle, I kind of went back and forth to fill in some of these areas. And I did the same thing here. Like if I had a big chunky piece, then I would go back and forth with a thinner piece to fill in the areas. So yeah, I'm excited to do more of these. This was fun. I like doing this. Okay, so that, and I'm trying to think, what else did I learn as far as round weaving? I mean, I used a tapestry needle, and then I tried to, as much as possible, you know, weave the end back into the piece. But I mean, it's not going to matter as much because this will be against the wall, so it's not going to matter that much. And that was it. It was pretty simple. It was pretty cut and dried. There wasn't a whole lot to learn as far as that goes. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that there's this big crack here. And that happened in the kiln, but I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, maybe it just is what it is. And I think I might be okay with that. I guess I'm going to have to be. Anyway, so yeah, more of these are going to be coming because this is crazy fun. I didn't get very far on this thing. I added a few more rows. Now this, of course, you know, we're also weaving in the round here, and on this one I didn't do an odd number of pins. Like here I did an odd number of holes, but I didn't do that here. I didn't even number, and that's been a problem. There's an area that I have to do shift and go, you know, over or under 2 strings, depending on what I'm doing in the round, to even it up. And then I'm just shifting it every string, so I'm not going to have that one mistake down through the whole piece. And since, you know, this yarn's pretty fuzzy, it kind of hides it anyway. So it's not going to really show that much, which is fine. Anyway, so I'm working on that. I'm using this big weaving needle that has a little bent end, which kind of helps, especially going against this thing. It really helps to have that bent tip. So we'll see. I'm still not sure how I'm going to deal with the bottom. but we'll see. But let me tell you about this yarn. This yarn is actually one solid ball. I meant to show this to you last week and I didn't. If you can see, it's all in the same. It was spun up, and I think what I did is I took my bin of just random fiber, and I don't even think I carded a bat. I think I just took bits of fiber from the bin and spun it. And I spun it relatively, I mean, not that thick at all. I kept it really, really thin. I mean, there's areas where it is a little thick, but I kept it pretty thin. I think the intention was that I was going to ply it, and then when I started weaving, it was just easier to keep it kind of thin and use it for my weaving. So, because I kind of like using something, I don't like going any chunkier than like a sport weight on the weaving, because I tend, especially the stuff when I'm using these kind of rayon-y type threads. So we'll see. Anyway, so I'm just going to go in the round with this. I'm starting to think about how I'm going to line this. I don't even know what I'm going to use this for, because this flap is going to be much thinner than the piece. So I'll have to see. Anyway, but I'm starting to think about lining it, which I'll probably just make like a, just measure the bag width and then just make something out of some remnant cotton fabric that I have. I have a lot of batik type fat quarters that I can figure that out with. So that's what I'm doing with the pouch loom. And I wanted to show you this scarf. This scarf was that boring one that I had on my rigid heddle loom that I wanted to get off so I could use my rigid heddle loom for a warping board. So this is that scarf. This is a lot of fun. And I don't think I brought that yarn over. This is Spin Cycle out of Seattle or Portland. I think she's in Seattle. She was at a show that I did in Seattle like 7 years ago, but anyway, but now they're manufacturing a sock yarn that looks, oh, there's a little, oh, I gotta weave that in, yeah. That mimics hand spun. It has like a barber pole to it, and it's sock weight, and it's really cute. Great colors, but this has 3 different colorways in it because I started out, not that end. I started out here and realized I was woefully short on yarn. So I went to go get more and they didn't have that colorway. So I had to find, but luckily the colorways kind of coordinate. So I had to get some colorways that kind of coordinated. And then when I finished it, it shrunk up a lot. Like I did a hot water soak with a little bit of kookaburra wool wash. It's like the unicorn wash. I like that too, but the kookaburra is great because you don't have to rinse it out. So when I did that, it shrunk it up, so I got the steam iron out and ironed it up, and it's a good size. I probably would like it to be just a little bit longer, but it'll be great for winter. I like this width a lot. This was done on the 20-inch loom, and so it shrunk up a good bit. Let's see, I've got my tape measure right here. It shrunk up to be, it shrunk up to be 18 inches. So on a 24-inch down to 18 inches, yeah, it shrunk up a good bit. So yeah, just kind of beware. So that kind of also makes me concerned for, and I'm going to share with you guys, let me see if I can turn the camera. I'm just going to take it off. How about, oh, whoop. Look at this. So I started weaving on that Structo loom, and I've gotten pretty far. So I'm pretty pleased about that. But let me tell you what I've also learned about this loom. Okay. This loom I got off of Craigslist. Somebody's grandma died, and it was a really inexpensive loom. However, they don't make these looms anymore. Structo went out of business ages ago. And so getting the pieces, any replacement parts is, you have to find used, or I've had to go to a company called Gowdy Reeds, and they can custom make parts for a loom. So I've had to spend actually more money than I spent on the loom itself into getting parts to make this work. I also found out the hard way that because of the distance between the back beam and the bar that goes over, I don't know the name of that, because of the distance is kind of short, I really can't, and when I put, I use like a bamboo shade. Let me see if I can show you this. Here, it'd be easier if I just showed you. So I give you a flash of my cleavage and my dirty studio. So I use this kind of, I don't know if you can see, this is like a, there we go, bamboo shade to go between the warp. And so the distance between the bamboo shade and this beam, when I have the bamboo shade on there, only allows me to warp like three yards. So there's no doing a big long warp on this one. I'm kind of limited to just 3 yards, which I guess is fine. It's not ideal. But there it is. I mean, I think that's okay as far as like if I'm gonna do some kind of, art weaving, for the wall or something tapestry like, and that's kind of my intention for this loom anyway. But I've been having fun. So right now I'm doing this really kind of plain weaving. I'm using Poems sock yarn for the warp, and for the weft I had a thin rayon. I'm not even sure where I got it from. I probably got it from Earth Guild, their mill ends table years ago. I've had it for years. I've been using it to ply with for when I spun yarn. I have a ton of weaving yarns because that's what I use to ply with a lot of times. So I'm using that anyway, and I like the variegation of this against that the warp, so I'm playing with that. And that's about it. I'll show you how that goes. I'm going to continue to weave on that this week. And then I wanted to also show you guys, I know I had talked about the Beyond the Basics class that I'm getting ready to revamp, and I wanted to show you a little, this is that scarf. So each section of this scarf is something that you're going to learn to do in that class. It's a technique. So I just wanted to share that. Oh, look at this. I love this area. Isn't that fun? So yeah, I made this. So these are all these are all techniques that I teach in that Beyond the Basics class. So I'm getting ready to revamp that and flesh out some of those lessons. They need a rework, as well as add a few more lessons. So if you sign up now while it's all like together, then it's going to be cheaper than later, because I'm going to break those lessons out and offer them individually. And that may be the way that you like to have it, because you might not want to learn, need to know how to do all of these different techniques, but you might just want to cherry pick a few at a time. So anyway, I decided to break it out and get rid of the bundled price. But if you do the bundled price, then whatever I add later on, anybody who has already bought the Beyond the Basics will get access to those other classes for free. So there you have it. And that's what I have. That's it. I've been weaving on this and weaving on that, and dealing with, life stuff, doctor's appointments, and car trouble. Woo! Mercury retrograde, which is done. Thank goodness, because it's been a doozy this time. So there it is. That's what I'm working on. So does anybody have any questions? I know there was a few questions that I've had in the groups about the dye class. Some questions about the dyeing and a little bit of questions about last week's with the alternative looms. But as you guys work through some of those techniques, you know, hit me up. Or if there's anything else you want to see as far as video-wise goes, let me know and we'll do it. So there you have it. All right, I'm going to keep it relatively short because I'm using my bandwidth that's off my cell phone. Anyway, and then I get to go and call Spectrum and find out what's going on. So I'm glad you guys found your way to this cast, and I'll put a note in the other one, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.